Hey, souls and spirits out there, welcome back to the sacred space where we explore ancient mysteries and our spiritual truths and the deeper layers of reality. I'm so grateful you are here with me. Today, we are diving back into the Hermetic principles, specifically the second Hermetic principle, the principle of correspondence. This principle is most famously summed up in the phrase, as above, so below, as within, so without. And you'll find this teaching in the classic Hermetic text, the Kabbalion, which, as I said in previous episodes, is attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. But this idea is far older than the book. It kind of appears across different cultures and religions and mystical systems all over the world. So today we're going to explore what this principle really means, how it applies to our daily life, and how it shows up across spiritual tradition. At its core, the principle of correspondence teaches us that there is harmony, an agreement, a correspondence between different planes of existence. And the planes I'm talking about are kind of the physical, the mental, the spiritual, the heavenly realms, the spirit realm, our physical realm, all of the things. What happens on one realm reflects what happens on another. This means that the macrocosm, the universe, mirrors the microcosm, you. Your outer world reflects your inner world, and all of these patterns repeat across kind of all levels of existence. As above, so below can tell us that the structure of the universe reflects itself in smaller systems. Galaxies resemble atoms, or atoms resemble galaxies. Even looking at the branching patterns of our own human lungs mirror the branches of trees and rivers. Even I just noticed yesterday, and I've noticed it before, but I was breaking up walnuts, and walnuts look like the tiny brains with little nerves in them. I mean, it looks like an exact replica of like a picture of a brain I saw in class in high school. Orbital patterns repeat kind of across all these different scales. The zodiac and the moon phases directly influence human behaviors and earthly events. As within, so without says that your inner state of being shapes your external reality. Your thoughts influence your actions. Your beliefs kind of shape the experiences you have. Your emotional patterns attract similar situations. So again, like I said in the mentalism episode, if your mind is scattered, you could attract confusion. Your environment becomes disorganized, and you could just kind of like misplace things. Like those are simple like explanations. But when you are centered, life feels smoother, opportunities align, and things just kind of feel easier. And this could literally be observable in our personal lives. I know I notice it when I'm, scattered, I get flustered, things keep going wrong. But then when I take a moment, I kind of line myself and I kind of go with the flow, with the Tao, with the way, things just kind of line up and are so much easier. Ancient traditions have often described humans as miniature universes. Our bodies reflect natural cycles. Our breath kind of mirrors the tides. But the principle of correspondence is not just seen in Hermetics. It appears in the Bible, in the book of Matthew. At least that's how I interpret this. On earth as it is in heaven. Heaven as the higher plane reflected onto the earthly lower plane. But also the idea that the kingdom of God is within you, and the belief that the inner transformation can lead to our outer salvation. In some Hindu philosophies, especially in the Upanishads, we find Atman is Brahman, which I see as meaning that the individual soul, the Atman, is ultimately one with the consciousness, the universal consciousness, Brahman. And this is kind of correspondence at its highest level, I think, that the self mirrors the cosmos and the inner is the outer, or it's all just one and the same, it's all connected. In the Tao Te Ching, we see this principle expressed through balance and harmony. The Tao flows through everything, and the idea that nature reflects human behavior and human behavior reflects cosmic law. So ultimately, we can align ourselves internally, and then we are aligning ourselves with the universe externally. Some Buddhist teachings suggest that our reality is shaped by the mind and that suffering originates internally, and true enlightenment comes from inner transformation. The external world around us is not separate, it is a projection of our perception. The study of alchemy is deeply rooted in the idea of correspondence, that the transformation of lead into gold is symbolic of the inner transformation and spiritual purification, but also that the philosopher's stone, that elixir of life that grants immortality, represents that inner awakening and the true understanding of the soul and the everlasting soul. One of the most powerful applications of this principle is the law of reflection, that life is like a mirror. What you see outside is often reflected on what's inside. Some examples could be someone who is outwardly judgmental of others, has unresolved judgment within. Even attraction to someone or something could reflect a quality that a person holds dear or seeks within themselves. They're needing that, and so they outwardly look for it. The principle to me has a big connection to kind of shadow work. And if you don't know what shadow work is, it is a concept that comes from the work of psychiatrist Carl Jung. And it is a psychological and kind of self-practice that focuses on identifying and understanding and integrating the repressed or hidden parts of ourselves, also known as our shadow. This shadow could be more, quote, negative emotions, say suppressed anger, jealousy, selfishness, greed, or downplayed traits that we've pushed away, like our creativity, our intuition, our tenderness. And maybe that we were taught, or I'll even say we were conditioned to hide or feel self-conscious about these things. But especially kind of past trauma or painful memories that we have pushed away into our unconscious to protect ourselves. Shadow work is a deliberate process of self-investigation to find out these things about yourself. So if someone or something triggers you, it's not random. It's corresponding to something inside of you, and it means that everything is an opportunity for awareness. Your emotional state shapes your reality. Fears can attract anxiety, which can attract limitations. Love attracts expansion. Gratitude attracts abundance. And this concept aligns closely with what modern spiritualists may call the law of attraction. And shadow work is tough. I mean, you are kind of digging in with a knife at some of your softest parts of yourself that you have tucked away, or maybe you feel ashamed about, or whatever it is. It is rough work, but in the end, it really benefits you because you see where you are putting these limitations on yourself because of these things that you've kind of tucked away. But even modern scientists see the principle of correspondence showing up in the fractals in nature, which are those infinitely kind of complex patterns that are similar across different scales. The river networks, sacred geometry, we see it in the chaos theory that the microscopic changes in initial conditions, like that butterfly flapping its wings, can result in macrocosmic shifts. And the kind of as within, so without aspect of correspondence is heavily studied in kind of neuroscience. So how can we bring this into our personal lives? Instead of trying to change our outward forces that kind of surround you, try to shift your mindset. Heal those emotional patterns. Reframe those ideals a bit. Work on what you can control. Observe your patterns. What keeps repeating in your life? What might this be trying to tell me or reflect about myself? If you want success, believe in your worth and see yourself becoming successful. If you want love in your life, embody love and show love to everything around you. Try to keep track of the seasons, watch them. Watch the moon cycles and the rhythms of life around you. I know it can be a lot, but honestly, when you start making it a part of your daily or weekly life, there'll become a time when you don't even realize that you're doing it, when you're checking where the moon is or what sign it's in. But by aligning yourself with the bigger cycles around us, your life will start to flow with a lot more ease. Or at least mine did when I stopped trying to kind of swim upstream all the time. One of the easiest and perfect examples of this is the moon. Just try to look for the new moon and the full moon. New moon equals new beginnings and inner intentions. Full moon is a culmination or an outer manifestation of what those intentions are. And if you are interested in the Egyptian mysteries, this principle really reflects kind of the teachings that the physical temples we see mirror our own inner temples, and rituals reflect cosmic processes, and initiates into the mysteries were taught to see themselves as living reflections of divine order. But with this principle, I want to remind you something very important, that this correspondence, as within, so without, does not mean that everything that bad happens in your life is your fault or anything like that. This just means that you have the power to influence your reality. But there are still external factors also working within the universe. But your internal state determines how you experience those things, how you let them affect you. And that's really the difference. At a deeper level, this principle reveals that reality is not separate things. It is interconnected across all planes. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions all ripple outward like water, and the universe responds in kind. So your homework, if you so choose, is to ask yourself what you are outwardly showing the world right now. What might it be that you're showing? What might it be reflecting from within? And what could you possibly shift to change your inner state of being? Think about that. The principle of correspondence teaches us that we are not separate from the universe. We are reflections of it, and it is a reflection of us. And when we come to understand this, we stop trying to take control of our lives, and we start beginning to align with it. So thank you for joining me today on this deeper dive into the second Hermetic principle. If this resonates with you, take some time to observe your world as it is a mirror and see what it shows you. In the next episode, we'll look into the third principle of vibration, where we will uncover how everything in existence is in motion. So until then, stay aware, stay aligned, and remember, as within, so without. I'll see you soon.